Support for Unrestricted is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels, and Manscaped's performance package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code ChunkyGT at manscaped.com. If my math is correct, that is 16 million balls. The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, it is a game changer. Inside the package, you're going to find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, the Crop Reviver toner. You're going to get performance boxer briefs and a travel bag to hold all of your goodies. First off, the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming and, dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and also has a 4000K LED spotlight that you're going to need for a more precise shave. And because this trimmer is also waterproof, you can say goodbye to the mess on your bathroom floor. Now, you thought that was good and you want to take your grooming game to even further to the next level? The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin-safe technology which helps reduce nicks, snags and tugs in those delicate nose holes. Their Crop Preserver ball deodorant and their Crop Reviver ball toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine. Trust me when I say, fellas, your balls will thank you for this. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to the Performance Package 4.0. The Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag bring comfort and boxers to another level. It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code ChunkyGT. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code ChunkyGT. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. You all good?
Yeah, sorted.
All right. Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Welcome.
For those that are tuning in, been manic trying to get this one set up, but I really hope this is going to make my life easier. I can actually come back a bit more as well. Yeah, so it's an app I found. I might do a little video on it actually. It's completely free, and yeah, lets me use an old phone as a webcam rather than the crappy webcam that I have. So let's see if I can move that somewhere over here. Right. Cool. But yeah, so how have you been?
Yeah,
Well,
not bad
firstly,
working. Yeah. I mean,
introduce
honestly,
yourself to.
when you said obviously you were going to do the thing by Zoom, I can
Yeah.
honestly swear, hand on heart, I had to literally download Zoom on the PC to use it and then configure my speaker and my cam to work through it because
Yeah.
I'd never used it before. I was like,
That's surprising considering we've all been using Zoom for the last couple of years.
not
But yeah,
not when you
I
work
didn't
from
really use.
home.
Well, yeah, true.
There's no way. If I want to
Um,
zoom somebody, I go and find out who's in like the next room or who was outside in the garage.
that is true. That is true. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so I think the best thing would be starting off introducing yourself. Who is Phantax Racing, and how did it all come about?
Oh, Phantax Racing, obviously me. The name was kind of weird. Back in my day, I mean, back in sort of early World of Warcraft days, I was massive online gamer, and I always used to use the name Phantom. But as more and more online games come out, and especially as like America and Asia would get access to them first, I could never get that name. So I then changed the name from Phantom to Phantax, and that has stuck. That's been the name I've used in gaming, driving games, any kind of game for, well, a long time.
So let's say 5 years.
5 years, yeah. Put it this way,
That
I actually played. I've got a video at one of them for like retro gaming in like my back catalogue of videos. showing me the Atari 2600 console and one of the games on there, so you can imagine how crap it is. And that was I played that. In fact, I've actually got one of those Atari consoles up there, the
Yeah,
nineteen seventy six.
I was looking at the one more at the one underneath it. Is that a Mega Drive?
Yeah, Atari at the top, Mega Drive there, PS1 just underneath it.
Yeah,
Right down the bottom, you can't see it's kind of but in that one I've got one of the old grandstand like Pong table games, and that's
yeah,
going back to like 72. And then the stuff sort of what I guess is behind you that you can't see behind my camera,
yeah,
that's obviously where I got my PS5, PS3, PS4. The only
yeah.
thing I haven't managed to get is the PS2 for the collection.
Well, so you need to find one. If anyone has a PS2 that wants to get rid of.
Yeah, it,
Um, for anyone who doesn't know, the Sega Mega Drive, what we're referring to in the States will be known as the Sega Genesis, I believe.
yeah, they called it Genesis. Put it this way, easy way to do it, isn't it? Everybody, it's the console that Sonic the Hedgehog first appeared on.
That's not true. That is not true.
Was it not? What did he?
No, it's not. Because I had a different console that had Sonic the Hedgehog built in. And it also, well, I had two of them. One had Sonic the Hedgehog built in, and the other one had Alex the Kid in Miracle World. So they're the first two games I ever played on a console.
I
And
didn't
that was a
know that. I
Sega
always thought
Master
Sonic
System.
was Mega Drive. Oh, of course, yeah, the Sega Master System. Yeah,
Yeah, that was
that's
better than
it.
the Mega Drive, I think.
I have been schooled.
I don't do that very often, but yeah, I thought I'll put that one up for you there. But yeah, I remember playing so I had the Master System. That's the first console I ever had. Even though at some point I did have an Atari handheld, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's an Atari handheld, and it looked a little bit like the what was the Sega handheld one? Is it the do you remember they had a Game Gear?
Yeah, Sega Game
Yeah,
Gear.
it was similar to the Game Gear, um, but it was about the size of the Nintendo Switch. And you have these big cartridges that go into the back of it, and you
Yeah,
get to play 2-bit Olympics, which was um interesting to say. I mean, I'm exaggerating too. It's probably about 8-bit.
I
But
was
yeah, so I
say
had
I
that.
think I think the old Atari's got 4 bit, so it must have had a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a 4 or 8. It was one or the other. But that's the first consoles I ever had. And then I didn't get one. I got a PC at one point, so I went through PC gaming, and there's quite a few games that I played. I just don't know what they're called. And I've been trying to figure out what they are. But
Do you,
what's that?
I was going to say, do you guys remember? Do you have the ZX Spectrum? Remember that, the small computer with rubber keys?
No, let me have a look because I'm not using my phone itself
Yeah,
for
it's
the
called a
recording
ZX
today. So
Spectrum. ZX Spectrum 48K, and that was one of the first affordable sort of home computers. Sir Clive Sinclair was
oh
the guy
yeah, I
who.
know that one.
Yeah, that was my first PC.
I thought
Even
that
though you
was
could,
more of I thought it was more of a Commodore that, but no, okay, I know which one it is because I remember seeing that quite often. I just never knew what it was called. But as soon as I saw it, I saw the colors,
yeah,
and that stands out straight away.
black grey
If I
keys,
can
got a
get,
little rainbow in the corner, sort of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
see if I can put
everybody
that
that had
on there.
everybody that had the Spectrum hated the people that had the Commodore because we had 48K, but they had 64. So you guys could
Yeah,
actually get like something on the screen had two colors. It was like, damn, man.
oh, that's mad. Yeah, just like just seeing the games as well. So, and the funny thing is, like Alex the Kid was the first game I ever properly played, and I got loads of memories with that. So I downloaded it on the PS5. They've done a new version, so you can flick through the original version, or I think it's the triangle key. You can press that, and it takes it to the modern version, which has got better graphics. And I'm like, no, I just want to play the original. It just the original is what I remember. So even though you got like there's a fireball that he shoots out, and it's like in 8-bit, don't want to see it in like 4K. I want to see it in 8-bit. I want to see
As
all
it
the
was.
pixels. as it was. That's why I bought it. But I love it when they do that on the consoles. But then games like Crash, they have to be the new ones. I can't play the original. The graphics are
Did
so
you
bad.
watch the PlayStation uh, sort of state of play, the recent one
I
we
haven't
just
watched the
did?
latest, not the recent
Ah,
one.
they're remaking Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater. Now I loved all the Metal Gear Solid franchise, played them right from number one. And as soon as I saw that on the screen, it literally sent a shiver down my spine because I even played some of the old like sound clips
Yeah,
from it, and it was instant sort of nostalgia. I was like, oh,
yeah. I was never into the shooter games. I always liked well, I say shooter games from when they became 3D. So when they were platform games, so the ones that move left to right, do you know like Sonic goes left to right and
yeah,
you just progress through, or like Mario. I
scroll
like
through
them
it.
sort of games. And I know there was one called I think it was the Bruce Lee story on the Master System. I can't remember what it's called. Very similar to Shinobi. Um, and that one I really just loved playing. It was like a shooter. You had to fight and you had to shoot, but it was left to right, and that I kind of just liked. Um, the same as Altered Beast, which I don't know if you have on the Mega Drive, but I've still got the disc somewhere.
I'm not even sure what games I've got for you. One of the albums similar to that would have been oh, not Street Fighter, Streets of Rage, where you could actually have two player on the screen and
Yeah,
you literally picked up the pipes and the baseball bats. The
yeah, I
graphics
remember
were
that.
so rubbish compared to now, but we spent hours on it. It was brilliant, isn't it?
The thing is, I didn't because back then I know anyone younger, so people our age which will be watching it, which is probably most people that play Gran Turismo anyway, will know what we're talking about. But anyone younger, we had arcade machines. You had to go in and you had to put the money in,
Yep.
um, and actually get like maybe three lives, and then you die, and then you have to put more money in. But like those are the games I played on that, like Space Invaders, um, Altered Beast, um, the one you've just mentioned, and all the wrestling ones as well, and the Olympics. Just remember being at the arcade and just
Smashing
tapping
buttons
away.
left and right.
Yeah,
Daley Thompson's Decathlon, that was one. That was a joystick wrecker.
yeah. They did one on the PlayStation 1, I think. I can't remember what it was. But I know on the PlayStation 1 they had one because we used to go to like community group down in London when we were about 12, 13. And I think most of us just wanted to go and play a PlayStation because we didn't have one. But I remember us just being there. We used to find the pen was a good thing. You like roll the pen over the buttons and
Yeah,
you can go a bit faster.
could do it quicker.
Um, yeah, those were the hacks back then. But yeah, all right, let me just open this drink. So what about Gran Turismo? What was did you is this like since Gran Turismo Sport and 7 or have you been on it since the very beginning?
From from a YouTube point of view or from playing the game?
Well, both actually.
Playing the game from number one. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, when Gran Turismo 1 came out, that was it. I mean, I always played the driving games anyway. I mean, Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, Colin McRae's Rally, Road Rash, Outrun. And then it just obviously every time a new iteration of something came out, I moved up and progressed with it. I did
Yeah.
play Sport, Gran Turismo Sport, but I wasn't that much into the online side of the racing, man. I loved the whole Gran Turismo career mode. So Sport for me was a little bit of a letdown. Not that Gran Turismo 7 has a great single player campaign. It
Yeah.
doesn't. But yeah, and as soon as 7 was announced, I said, right, I'm gonna literally just do some videos. And it was only meant to be a little bit of a laugh and just a bit almost like not even a hobby. Just I'll do a few videos now and then. A year into the channel later, and I'm pumping out content 3 and 4 times a week. I'm getting earache off the missus because I'm spending too much time in the
I think
studio.
I think you mentioned we had to chat about this, didn't we? Because I think you were pumping in like I mean I'm trying to cut down on how much I actually put out. I think was it about 2, 3 weeks ago we had a little thing and I said maybe just let the channel breathe a little.
Yeah,
Um, and I don't know if it works for you, but for me, I kind of like I've got my next two videos all ready to go. Like I could press a button and release two videos, but I don't want to because I feel like I don't want to oversaturate people with my voice. Um, but we get onto content a bit because our content's very similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I did. I
but
sort
at
of
this,
took your yeah, I took your advice because I mean, I've literally like you. I've got
I think we lost you there,
and I
mate.
was going to release one.
Sorry, we lost you there. You froze for a second.
Sorry, yeah, like you, I mean, I've literally got some stuff on YouTube all ready to go. I only need to publish, but kind of like you said, I've taken. I didn't publish today. I thought, right, I'll give it one more day, give the
Yeah.
viewers a little bit of a break because I don't, like you say, I don't want to get bored. Oh my god, it's him again, and just like no, it'd be
Also
nice
from
if
I think more from I think from a sort of a personal like mindset sort of thing for me it was I was trying to rush content. I was literally making a video and staying up till like 11:30 and not spending time with the missus to get a video out to go up straight away.
yeah.
And like and now like I find like because I can put two, three videos. I've got like my own little process in my head now that, I need to record this, and this, and then I need to order it this way and that way. Um, and then I think the thing that's taken me the longest actually is cutting down the races into a video. How do you get 30-minute races
Into a four
into
minute video.
yeah? Well, you'll notice soon when you get to 1,000 because you're on the 600 now, ain't you?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and you will get
In fact,
there.
massive thanks to everybody. I mean, I didn't even notice till this morning that I'd hit 600, and it's
I
like,
noticed last
wow,
night, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It's like, as I say, I started off with no intention of doing it. It was just a bit of fun, a bit of a hobby, and it's just gone wild. And it's I said in one of my posts something. It's really quite humbling that so many people give me a little bit of their time, and that's like it just there's no words. It's just fantastic. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing where I mean I've been shot like the last month, like because I was lucky enough to hit 1,000. Um, in the grand scale of things, pretty quick. Um, so that's pretty like amazing to like just people actually pressing that button. Which when you get to 1,000, it's more like a vanity thing because having 1,000, having 10,000, every video you put out, it's all about the views. It's not about how many subscribers you have, but it's still a nice feeling to get. And I'm looking at my thing and I'm like, oh, I'm 1,003, close to 1,350.
300 you are now, yeah, nearly. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, clearly there are idiots out there. Um, and you clocked onto this as well, haven't you? You joked about it in one of my videos. Um,
Oh, the
but I
it
just like
says glitch.
it's
It
just
says glitch. There's a glitch.
yeah, I find it absolutely hilarious now that I'm like, oh, here's another one, here's another one. Um, and I don't know how I can word it any clearer. Glitch free.
Well,
Um,
I was thinking about that. I mean, sugar free, you know, fat
yeah.
free, glitch free. They all mean the same thing. There is not some whatever the word that follows isn't there, and
Um,
he didn't get it. He just didn't get it.
no, there's another one I think this week. Um, and someone had to say just why are you getting angry? Like, you know. Um, but I find it funny now. Like, someone commented on one of my videos and said something along the lines of, "Oh, you could do the Sardinia race, with a 1 minute 35 lap in the Audi RS5 compared to the Mazda." And I'm
Yeah,
thinking, no, that's true, that's fair. But I've done a video on both, and I use different strategies. So yeah, I could go 130, 136 on with the Audi, but I can do the race quicker with the Mazda.
yeah.
So I think some people don't. I think they just want to wind people up, but 99% of people, absolutely brilliant. And it's the feedback as well. Like I know someone the other day mentioned something, and it was like, there's something in my videos that they didn't like. And I thought, okay, like if someone tells me they don't like something, I'm more than open to take that advice on board. And I just asked, what is it that you don't like? What's do you find obnoxious about it? And they told me exactly what it was, and I'm like, do you know what? Fair dues. I see what you mean.
They've got a point,
Um,
yeah.
so I've taken that on board, and I've tried to do less of what they found annoying. But I also got positive comments from that same person. So that's the way you should do it. Um, you know, if you're going to criticize, have a valid point. Don't just do it just to wind people up. But
Yeah.
yeah, in terms of the content though, you focus mainly on the Le Mans, don't you?
I do more than I should. I've literally the videos I said I've got lined up. Two of those are actually in Sardinia because
Yeah.
I realised I was sort of putting all my focus, and I'll admit I don't like Tokyo Expressway because I'm not a fan of wall running. To me, it
Yeah.
just I'm a bit old school. It's cheating.
Well, here's the thing. I've got a thing with, and they only did that one um the other week because I'm not. I didn't like the wall riding. It's not something I like doing. But I thought I need to check it out. You know that this Scudo's there. I want to see what it's all about. I want to try and do this build and see why people rave about Tokyo Expressway. I didn't enjoy. See, I enjoy going to Sardinia and doing it in 25 minutes, an extra 3 minutes per race. You get a little bit less credits, don't you? But
Sardinia is a better
I
race.
actually,
It's a more fun race.
yeah, especially like when you turn it to hard, the hard difficulty. I find it so much more enjoyable than running it on easy. I think Le Mans is it's like so you got like Le Mans where run it on easy because it's a timed race. It doesn't really matter how many
Yeah.
laps you get.
You could go as fast as you
Uh,
like. You're still going to be running for 30 minutes. Yeah.
and a little tip for anyone who does watch the money method videos or the glitch free videos, if you run Le Mans in easy, you're probably going to sit at the finish line and do donuts like someone else. Um, if you run it on hard, there's a chance you might have to do one extra lap. So do with it as you wish. But those are little tips for that race. Sardinia, on the other hand, because it's about laps, it doesn't matter if you finish 1 second or 25 minutes ahead.
Yeah.
Um,
Soon as you've got
you
that
know,
15 laps in, you've won. That's it. You're done. Yeah.
yeah, it's about doing it as far as you can. So turn that to hard gives you a lot more free track than if you run it on easy. So just overall, it probably saves you about 20 seconds. So those are just little tips that I've found. But I'm not no expert on the builds. I'm not Nathan Tate. Um,
Now, I do like Nathan's builds. I mean,
yeah,
some of my builds are, or the base version, because I do like quite a twitchy, I like a very responsive front end and almost on the limit at the back. So
yeah,
sometimes I start off with one of Nathan's builds and then just adjust it a little bit for me. And I find that's perfect. But he does some good stuff. I like watching some of his videos. They're like,
yeah. See, I think with my ones, I've been more about trying to find a theme about the video. So I want to do the video, but I want to have a theme to it. So like if you see my titles, like the Mafia one, like
yeah,
I saw that car, I was like, oh, I quite like this car, but how do I, I could just slap the same number on every video. I can slap a number on, but I was like, I want to be a little bit different. I want to have like a story behind it, and you might see the one that you saw that you might have seen the Audi e-tron one,
yeah.
where the first thing I said is, if you're a petrol head, this might not be for you. Um, so that was
Because
the
you
theme for that
mentioned
one. Is
about the cars being green. And I think
well, are
what did
they
I say?
green or are
I
they
went, no,
not
it's
green?
not green, it's orange, isn't it? Or something like that. I said.
Yeah. See, what I meant by that is, see, I love electric cars from the technology point of view, and I like electric cars from you can like the acceleration you get from an electric car is far superior to a combustion car.
Yeah.
And we all know that if you press that accelerator, an electric car, it's instant. the same as Gran Turismo. You press that pedal, it's instant because it's all electric, isn't it? With a combustion car, you got to wait for that engine to kick up and then potentially a turbo or whatever it is. Um, but in terms of the how good for the environment is an electric car, um, is something I do joke about quite a lot because the ideal electric car or the ideal green car would be a car that has solar panels all over, right? So you're constantly charging. So you're charging through the sun, and would have a front grille, which electric cars don't have. And that grille would be channeling the air into a turbine to create extra electricity.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the MGU H, which is like the heat generator, or the that would harvest the heat from your braking to create even more power. So that's the ideal green car. But how do we charge our cars? We charge it electric, so the electricity that's just coming out of that back of the car, yes, clean, absolutely green. But what about the power station that's in
Yeah.
someone's backyard,
The
creating
new
all that smoke for them to drive a green electric car?
yeah, the nuclear power station and or the old coal power station.
Yeah,
And it's actually building the cars as well. Because I mean, if you look into what it takes to make a battery, it's not exactly sort of carbon neutral.
yeah,
It's ridiculous the amount of non um non-green things that have to go on
yeah,
for you to end up with something that is apparently a green vehicle.
yeah. So I mean, we make fun of it now, but I think
We'll get
over
there.
time, over time, it's where it needs to go. I'm trying to be a bit facetious here, but we need the electric cars to progress into from what they are now to what they'll be in 10 years. Like Formula E is a good example. They started off with a car that couldn't even do half a race. To now they're talking about doing fast charging pit stops in like 7 or 8 years. So you can only imagine where it'll be in 10, 15 years. And if you look at the petrol industry, it's taken us what about 130 years or whatever it is to get here. Um, so yeah, I laugh about it, but I do love electric cars. I do want an electric car. Um, and I do like the Kia EV6. Sorry, I like the EV6,
It,
but the EV9 is going to be the car that I really want,
I haven't
and I
seen
won't
the
be able to
EV9.
afford
I've
it.
seen the adverts on the TV for the six. I think the six looks really cool. I also like a lot of the Polestar models.
Yeah,
There's a company called Polestar. They do some really cool
they've got a good
looking.
SUV coming out that I've seen. Um, but the Kia EV9 will be a game changer. Um, and you could potentially charge it for free, which is ridiculous in how is it Hyundai? No, the Kia, how Kia are doing it. Because essentially, what's the battery is going to be so big, it could power a house for 5 days. So if you ran out of electricity, the car could power your house for 5 days. Because in a current electric car, you can charge in, and some of them have that you can now charge out, so you can plug things in and it'll charge it. But once you plug the EV9 into the wall, it becomes like a two-way thing. And how it's going to work is that you get out your car and you tell it when you're going to drive it next. So you can say, I'm going to drive the car again in 3 days. And you say, I want a minimum, very minimum battery level of 20%. So it will never go under that. But what it will do is if the battery's at, it will charge it when it's cheap, like a lot of electric cars do now. And then what it will do is if you got a surge in demand in your house throughout the day, to stop you using from the grid, it will use electricity from the car.
And take from the car. Cool.
So because the car is fully charged and it's cheaper to use the electricity that was charge the car at a cheap rate to then power your house when it's really expensive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um, so effectively, you could potentially be giving back to the grid, and actually getting free charging in a really roundabout way. So I think they're trialing it in Spain, and I think Kia are working with like electric companies in the UK to try and bring it over here. So that's my
That
geekiness
would be
coming
cool.
out
Yeah.
a bit. But yeah, it's a car that it's going to be on my list if I could ever afford it. So maybe I'll get to Super GT levels and I'll get enough money out of YouTube to buy an EV9. But yeah, but what videos are you working on at the moment?
What's what? Sorry.
What videos are you currently working on at the moment? What's your next ones?
Oh
But
well,
bear in mind, this is going to come out probably on Friday. So anything that you say now, people won't know. The video will probably come out by Friday. Hold on.
there's yeah, because I've done there's one I've done with is a Volkswagen Beetle engine swap.
Yeah.
Now I've literally got the old Beetle and made it look got a livery on it that makes it look like a rusty piece of crap. And I've gone
Like your
and
Mitsubishi.
I have spent a ridiculous amount of credits. I've gone through everything, engine swap, every modification, and this thing is like, if when you start off, you're not careful, it will literally wheelie and you'll
Yeah.
crash because it. So that's the next video, but there's a little short I'm releasing tomorrow, which is sort of a teaser trailer
Right.
for because I'm going to
So
release
that's
that
in
tomorrow and a
tomorrow.
video on Wednesday. There was a
When you say
video,
tomorrow Wednesday, this would have been 2 days ago or 3 days ago.
yeah, today being Monday for me. Tomorrow
Go and watch
morning
it
I'll
now.
go.
Go and watch it now.
Yeah, yeah. Tomorrow morning I'll release the YouTube short sort of teaser, and then Wednesday the
Yeah.
video is going to come out. I've done it before. I don't know if you saw some other ones where I did like a parody of Pimp My Ride. So, and I
I
literally
haven't seen that one.
I put the glasses on, I got the baseball cap on backwards, I put in a silly full on American accent and just literally ripping
Yeah.
off Pimp My Ride. I was doing another one which required a costume just for the intro, just because of having a laugh
Yeah.
with everybody. It turned up by Amazon today, and my bloody costume doesn't fit me. I've actually let's just say I put on a few pounds, so I can't put
Yeah.
it on. So I've got to reorder a bigger size, and that's going to be another sort of almost a Pimp My Ride sort of parody video.
Yeah.
But specifically, it needs to sell the joke in the intro. I need the costume, but I can't get into
Yeah.
the costume.
I think costumes are starting to be the thing in Gran Turismo because Sparks uses a costume as well, doesn't he? I don't know if you've heard of Sparks, but he's got the drunk penalty guy skit. That was quite funny, so you should check him out as well. Um, but yeah, in terms of my one, I've got this should have dropped today, being Monday, but I've delayed it. At the moment, it's going to drop Tuesday, but I may delay that to Wednesday. Um, Depends how I feel. So by the time the podcast comes out, it will be out already. But I've done the Lexus, um, the what's the where is it?
What, the
It's meant to be
VGT
the
or
E.
one of the?
No, it's a Group One car, I believe. The SC430, um, around Sardinia, and that is right. And you probably I've had to make a admission that I was wrong, um, because you mentioned it in one of your videos where I made a bold claim about the RS5. Turns out I was wrong because it's not the easiest build in Gran Turismo 7. Turns out it's the Lexus because you literally go and you buy the car and
And
that's
that's it.
it. You buy the car and you race it as is. There's no tuning, no parts, no tires. It's literally you can buy I think it's under £1,000, so it's the cheapest. And you get in it and you go to Sardinia. That's it. Um,
Yeah, because of course the
and
Group
it's
Ones
just
already have a hard tires fitted, don't they? So, or hard
it's
or medium.
mediums. Yeah, so it
Ones
already
on
comes with
medium.
a medium. So and the tires, I can't remember. I think they went all the way. Um, so that's my next one. And then I'm actually quite excited for the one I've got scheduled for the 11th, which is I need the 11th. on Sunday. So that's another one that I'm quite excited for.
Yeah, don't mention that one because we're hearing it on Friday.
No, so if you want to see that one, tune in on Sunday in a couple of days
Yes.
and see what that's all about. Um,
But
but yeah,
Bob might be doing a lot of YouTubing this week because I don't. Have you been on Gran Turismo 7 today at all?
I haven't been on Gran Turismo 7 a lot
The
recently, so
ser the servers are almost unplayable. I tried
are
going
they?
around Daytona. You've got cars glitching all over the place. But I had one literally ran half of the
Yeah,
outside of the oval. He wasn't even on the track. He was literally on the side, and I don't know.
yeah,
Keys mentioned it, and Tidge mentioned it as well in some of their daily videos today. There's something really wrong with the servers, and obviously we've got the is it the first one of the nationals or something coming up on Wednesday.
yeah. I
If the
think
servers are like that,
the
it's going to be
manufacturers.
havoc.
Yeah,
So, so
but
I had two
I
races
haven't
today, and I gave up.
I haven't played online for about 2 weeks now. Um, I just haven't found the daily races that appealing to me. Um, but and plus I've been massively busy. But I want to do Daytona because I remember the last time I did Daytona, I got my rating back up to an A, so I'm pretty decent around there, I think. So I might try and get my American account to an A-rated account, hopefully, at Daytona. Um, but I need to get a few more videos out already because Formula One comes out next week. It's next week, yeah, end of next
Is it
week,
next week?
yeah. And I'm going to give it a go again. I'm going to EA the benefit of the doubt because I bought F22 and I probably played about 4 or 5 hours of it in total. So that was me well spent. Um, but I'm gonna make some content on Breaking Point and the career mode, hopefully. And then I've got ACC as well, which I'm trying to do the career mode. So I want to see how that goes.
See, our guys and tech just don't go together, do they? It's like,
No. It's just even with me, like I used to be really good at tech, um, and now I'm absolutely shocking. Don't know if you heard the issue I had the other day. So I had I haven't streamed for a while, but I've got a sound card that I've got to connect to my capture card because I haven't got one of those fancy Elgatos. My capture card's only about £7 on Amazon or a fiver. Um, but the capture card or the sound card wasn't working, and I spent days on it trying to figure it out to the point where I sent it back to Amazon and said, "Look, it doesn't work." I ordered another one, didn't work,
yeah,
and
I
then they sent
remember
me a
this little.
replacement. They sent me the replacement, and I'm like, "It's exactly the same as the first one. It still didn't work." Turns out I just had to press something on the computer. Um, yeah, technology, eh? Um, but I'm like, I'm still learning every day. Like, it's just so much out there with technology, and
Yeah,
like video editing is the one I'm trying to get my head round really a lot recently. Um, like, there's new things that I'm doing in my videos that I don't know you might have noticed where the camera just pans and then moves away, without having to cut and then do the zoom in another frame and all that sort of stuff. So
yeah.
I've managed to learn that. So I'm probably overdoing it at the moment. There, probably overdoing it at the moment, but
At least
I'm
that's
trying
giving you
to
a chance
just
to
make sure.
experiment and learn.
And
Because I
that's
mean,
the
I
thing with
literally.
you.
Sorry, go
You're
on.
going. No, I'm just saying that's all this is. It's like it's a whole learning process. So like I think even Super GT the other day was like doing something different. I'm like, blimey, you've got to keep trying new things. You
Yeah.
just stay the same. It's never going to work. So yeah, what were you going to say?
Oh yeah, literally just that. I mean, you've got to change it up every so often. But I'm
Yeah,
still using literally for most of my video editing is done on the PlayStation's. I can't remember what they call it. The literally
Fair
PlayStation.
Factory.
Yeah, I would say 80% of the videos that go onto YouTube, 80% of that video I've done in Share Factory. The only other little
Yeah,
bits I maybe use Photoshop or something if I'm just superimposing. Like there's a couple where I've got, where you do the YouTube face and you got your hands in
yeah,
the air and you sit, and that's it.
See,
And
how are you doing? Because I found Share Factory very confusing. So is I found it too fiddly. Having to like use your controller to find all the different sections where you can put cut, and then you have to put the overlay, another like and follow one. I just could not get my head around it. Um, and now I just use CapCut. They are
yeah,
annoying me a little. They are annoying me a little bit because they're putting pro pro version of things. So I had the features that I had, and then they asked you to do an update. I update and then I lose features because they've made it pro. You got to pay for it. Um, but it's still, I find the best editing program for me, like compared
I
to
I do use
Premiere or to
Wondershare. I have Wondershare on my Filmora Wondershare on my computer,
yeah,
which I pay for the version of that because you get the if it's a free version, which has got all the
yeah,
the bells and whistles, but you get the watermark. So you pay
yeah,
your little monthly fee and then get an unwatermarked version. But I found that's
yeah,
great if I want to turn a normal landscape type video. That's got some great editing bits in it that are very quick, where you can turn it into 916, so you can put that onto
yeah,
the YouTube Shorts very quickly.
yeah. I've used what's the app called? Um, so CapCut is pretty good for that as well. But Cross Clip, so it's part of Streamlabs now. And what you do, so you can get like a clip of a stream, and you got like your camera at the bottom, and then you got the main part. You can say, I want the camera to be here, and then the video to be there, and it just merges your video into a 9:16 with all those elements in there. So it's quite
Oh,
a good one. But I know with Streamlabs, I'm still trying to figure it out because I think my laptop isn't even though it's a high spec one, I don't think it's the best for um streaming, which I think is because I haven't got a dedicated graphics card on there. But it's about that thin anyway. Um, so you can't exactly have everything, but hopefully one day I'll get a gaming PC with the all the bells and whistles, um, and that will allow me to
that's
do
pretty much
more
what I
stuff.
use. I mean, I built my own.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not. I mean, it literally, it's the best. It's the best one I could make on a budget. Because yeah, I mean, like I remember a few little while back, Steve was on Twitter and he posted all the specs of the new PC
yeah,
he was
oh
going to
yeah.
build, and I just put on it. I went, "Is this an ego build?" Because you don't need 64 gig of RAM. I mean, whoever told him that, I don't care what you're
Uh,
streaming, it's
mm,
not 32 max.
yeah.
As long as you got
No,
a
I
good
think
graphics card,
if
32.
I get 64, I'll get 64.
I
So
mean,
like when I bought this
yeah, I
laptop
suppose.
back, I got it about a year ago because I've got in this drawer. Um, this is what I was using until about a year ago, right? And it's broken, and I still don't want to get rid of it for parts. That, right? My MacBook Pro, which I got in like 2011 or 2010. Um, and this thing like went for about 12 years. Um, and I don't want to let it go because it's just got sentimental value now. It just sits in the drawer.
Keep it.
Um,
Put it on
but
display behind you somewhere. It's like,
well, yeah, but I couldn't even stream using OBS on that thing anymore. And it had 8 gigabytes of RAM. It had a SSD, um, but the rest of it was just that old. So I got this laptop, which says ZenBooks. It's one of those that flips around into like a tablet. It's got an i7 processor. It's got 16 gigabyte of RAM. It's got a whole terabyte of storage, um, but no graphics card, no dedicated graphics card. So kind of have to do what I can with it. I mean, it's good enough for streaming, and it's good enough video editing, but it can't do both at the same time. So I'm just having trouble with like DaVinci Resolve. Um,
yeah,
so I can't use that properly just yet. Um, but I think it's to do some of the settings that I need to check out. But it's a really good laptop. Can't really complain. It's got like 10 hours of battery life. Can't go wrong with that. Um, and it does for like so like for this, I got it all. It's got set up on the side. I've got my second monitor. Cameras mounted everywhere. But yeah. Anyway, what we were talking about before we took that little break was it Formula One, wasn't it?
Yeah, F1 20, the latest F1, and I'm saying I just got very disappointed, especially because last year's I thought was almost a carbon copy of the year before. They Yes, they changed a couple of liveries, but it was basically the same game. And I thought, EA, you're just milking it. I want something new. And hopefully this year's one will bring something a little bit different to it.
I think the main thing's going to bring. It's not a whole new game. Um, it's bringing back Breaking Point, which I quite like.
Yeah, I thought the
Um,
breaking point story I thought was great.
that's back. So I'm really want to do that one, and I'm trying to not watch all the videos that are already out there from the EA Content Creator Network, which I've got a love-hate relationship with that idea. I wouldn't mind if they let me be part of it, but I'm not part of it, so
So
I
we
don't
hate it.
like it. Yeah, exactly. Because the game effective is going to be last year's game with like Breaking Point. Um, but I'm hoping that they fixed a lot of the issues. Um, and I'm hoping there's a way where I can turn off cross-platform play because I don't really want to play with people on the PC that are cheating. Um, and yes, I said it. There are people on the PC that cheat. And I might make another video about it again at some point. Um, but I've played it for I think the first one I got was F1 20. Well, the Formula One series. I got F1 2011 and everyone since then. So 12,
Yeah.
13, all the way to 22, and I will get 23. Um, but before that, there used to be a game thing called F1 Championship. I can't remember what it was. I think it was done by Codemasters. And I know the box was red. I'll try and find a picture to put on the video. Um, but I used to play that game. I used to love it. Um, so I've seen the whole evolution. But last year's game, I don't know what it was. I was excited for it because the new cars came out. I think this is going to be completely different, and it wasn't. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to try out the supercars versus Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Now, I can go into Gran Turismo and I can get into Ferrari, take it onto the track, and it drives. I would take a supercar out in the Formula One game. As soon as the countdown goes off and I've got control of the car, the brakes go on and the car spins. So I just could not find a way of getting it to change. Like, so I never drove the supercars, which is one of the things that I wanted. But I'm hoping that this year they fix all those bugs, and I hope, really hope, they got some sort of anti-cheat on there. But I know at the very least I'll be able to do my team mode and breaking point, and probably go into some lobbies and just see absolute carnage.
If nothing
Which
else, it should make some interesting videos.
it makes Gran Turismo look tame. Like you see Kimi
Yeah.
Velocini, and in the Formula One game, you've got about 20 um, in the whole lobby. Like
I
you
think there's
probably,
absolute,
I turned into it as well. I'm like fight fire with fire.
but there's no deterrent, is there? I mean, Gran Turismo's penalty system is questionable at best, but especially if you compare it to something like ACC,
Yeah,
where if you start losing races or get a bad SR, you can't even enter certain races. You are blocked, and I
yeah,
like that in ACC.
that's happened to me. I think mine. The thing with ACC is the online version of the PS5 isn't great, which is a big shame because I was driving around Watkins Glen there just for fun because I got all the DLCs now, and I drove the 911 at Watkins Glen, and I know I'm like miles off the pace and not like even anywhere close, but I wasn't even running the setup. I was just the bog standard, and I was just really enjoying it. Like the driving style is completely different to Gran Turismo. You got the engine protection when you're downshifting, so you can't just change gears down like whenever you want. You have to slow the car down, then you can get into a lower gear. Um, but it was handling so good. Um,
Do you play the PS5 version or the PC version of it?
the PS5.
And see, I got the PS5 when I've got it on mine. I played it about a year or so ago, and I know they've had quite a few big updates. So I
The
haven't
updates
gone
have
back
changed it.
to the PS5 version yet. So I might give that another go, and if you reckon it's
It's
better,
it is better. The problem
better
is
than it
there's
was,
no
not better than the
online.
PC version. Yeah,
There's not a very big online thing. So every time I try and go into an online race, even my safety rating's not high enough because it's dropped to like 51. So now I'm having to drive against the AI and just driving side by side and not overtaking um, to try and get it back up to 60 at least. Um, but even just driving against the AI, it's just a lot of fun. Like it's
yeah,
a whole different type of driving game, and it's just a shame that there's not a lot of people on the online version on PS5. It's not. It wasn't great when it came out, and it just got tarnished with such a bad name or a
yeah.
bad reputation. So that's the downside with ACC. But yeah. And the other game I'm really looking forward to is Test Drive Solar Crown. That's the biggie for me. That's I just want to see if they've even got a release date yet. Like it was meant to be out last year. Um,
There was no real driving game I was looking for. I'll tell a lie, I was looking forward to the latest Need for Speed until they showed me those stupid anime graphics for the smoke,
oh yeah,
and that was it's the only Need for Speed game I've never purchased because I think it just looks. Or I mean, I know they were never
yeah,
photorealistic and they were always far fetched, but now it looks like a child's cartoon to me. And it's the only Need for Speed I've never bought. I've bought and completed all the others, and this one I didn't even bother
yeah.
purchasing it.
I'm just trying to check with the PlayStation because I know they do the free games every month. I was
Yeah,
signing me out. I can't even get back into it on my phone. Um, they did Grid Legends. I think was it last month. So
yeah,
I've
because
downloaded that. I haven't played it.
Nathan Tate was doing some videos on the Grid Legends, wasn't he? Apparently.
Yes. So they did. They gave that for free. Um, and this is where I think this is where I'm getting a bit disappointed with the Formula One game because if you look at Grid Legends, I believe it's made by EA Sports, isn't it? Um, I believe it is, or Codemasters. I'm just going to verify that. Grid Legends Maker. Yeah, it's a Codemasters game, and the F1 is Codemasters as well. And the whole, so I started watching it, and in Grid Legends, you've got effectively Drive to Survive in the game. So you've got this team owner sitting down, um, doing effectively Drive to Survive. And if you look at F123 Breaking Point, they've effectively got the exact same thing. The only
Yeah.
difference is that with Grid Legends, they use actual actors to do the cutscenes, and
Oh, that sounds
in the
cool.
F1 they've used computer
It's
graphics
all
effectively.
CGI, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but the Grid Legends it was done in like a video, so like you're seeing actual real life humans acting out the cutscenes, and then you go in the car, you do the race, and you come back out, and it's real people again. Um, but I have a feeling that the story might be very similar to Grid Legends, um, which probably just shows you how lazy Codemasters can be. Um,
Yeah, I mean that was my point. For the F1 games, it's literally a carbon copy with a few little changes. So, but
but it is F1 cars,
yeah,
and it
but what we need
is
is F1 itself to have a major change, and that will force them to change the game.
I think it'll be next year. Um, Generally think it'll be next year. Mm. And I think won't change it massively until they stop supporting the PS4. So that's the main thing I think that's stopping them. So they need to do it with Gran Turismo. So I just they need to say right with enough for the PS4. The game is as is now on the PS4, and just put all that resource in like making the PS5 version a better game. Like you said with the servers, it's got to be something to do with the PS4. They effectively got two games, don't they?
Yeah, it's for crossplay. The crossplay is killing it.
Yeah. So just switch it off. Say, I mean, you get a PlayStation 5 now for 380 quid. You know, just it's unfortunate, but the PS5's been out for what, 2 years, almost 3 years now?
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, at some point you've got to cut that support and say, right, there's the game, that's what it is now on the PS4, right? You got that game, PS5 has that game, and we'll develop the PS5 one.
Well, PS5 is
Because
up
they'll
to, what
do,
is it, 20 million, 20 million units sold worldwide, or they surpassed 20 million units.
yeah,
So surely there's enough now, like you say, to focus on. This is supposed to be our next gen machine. You can't expect the old gen machine to keep up online with the new gen machine.
no,
They're throttling us back when we could have a much better. Like, for example, we started off when Gran Turismo started off, we had 20 cars in races. We've gone down to 16 in the long races, down as low
mm,
as 12 in daily race A. And it's ridiculous. We don't get the weather, which the game supports. We don't get the night and day transition, which the game supports. And we certainly don't get, they even advertise it when you click on, if you look at your games on the top of your PlayStation
yeah,
entry screen, and you click there and it says, yeah, PlayStation does it, supports 20 player races. No, it doesn't. We haven't had 20 player races since after about 1 month of when they reduced it, and they
yeah,
still haven't put it
ACC,
back up. Even
yeah,
Key
yeah,
mentioned that in one
ACC,
of his streams.
yeah, yeah, ACC. You can have 30 cars on the
Yeah,
PlayStation, and they are night transition and weather,
yeah.
and it's
AC,
not,
I
and it's
do
meant
actually
to
like.
be.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna have a look at ACC back on console now that you said, if you've said it's, because I know Basic Holly also did a video on the fact that they brought in a new update recently, didn't they? And
They
Basic
did on the
Holly had
PC.
no, on the
Did,
PS5 version
did they?
of ACC. I say
Oh,
very
need to check that out.
recently. I think it might have been about a couple of months ago, but Basic Holly
Oh
did a
yeah,
video
yeah,
saying
because
because
they did
they've got all
update.
new tire.
Yeah, update 1.8, I think it was, or 1.18. I can't remember which one is which. But they've got a new version on the PC, a new update on the PC that came out, I think, last month, where they gave a new track. Well, they say gave. I think some of them you have to buy. Then you got two new cars, including the new Ferrari, which we yet don't have on Gran Turismo. Considering the cars have Gran Turismo on, I think Kirif put something saying the car
Yeah,
has Gran Turismo written
but
on
it's
it,
not in Gran Turismo. Yeah,
but it's in ACC and not in Gran Turismo. I mean, what the hell's going on there? Um, and it's got a new track and new cars, and the tire model's different, which I think is for the better. And we still have to wait probably until September before we get it on the PlayStation. That's the downside. But then that's what Polyphony need to do with Gran Turismo. Take a page out of that book and say, right, the PC is the main one we focus on, and in this case, it
yeah.
would be the PS5, and then we'll potentially bring the update, but we'll bring it at a later date to the PS4. You know, maybe that keeps everyone happy. But
And
yeah,
just make
just
it really special on the PS5.
yeah. I think we just need to find out how many people actually have. So whoever's watching this, if you've got ACC or the PS5, just let us know in the comments below. Because it might be worth doing a video on it. I'm not sure actually how much it costs. I know I got the game for about a tenner. So even if people want to get it and see if we can do a daily race, um, they don't have Daytona, but if they use a track like Watkins Glen, we can replicate that on ACC and show polyphony what we should be getting. Um,
But I'm saying that I did do, although I never released it, because I didn't think it was enough. I did almost like a side by side comparison of Monza on ACC console compared to the Monza in Gran Turismo, and I did the laps with the cars and the views and the graphics. And I can't remember why I didn't release it. I think it was because literally nobody at the time seemed interested in ACC on console. So I thought, well, what's the point in releasing it? I think I just
have
deleted
you
the
still
video, but
have you have you still got the video?
I may have it on because of all my video. Once I completed my videos, I save them onto a separate hard drive
Yeah,
just in case. So I'd have to have a look. I may still have it somewhere.
it might be worth just putting it out anyway.
Just let
I mean,
people have a
what
look.
have you got
Yeah.
to what have you got to lose? Even if it gets 100 views, still 100 views.
I did I
Um,
have got a couple of ACC videos up on the channel. I think they might even be under live streams because I was just testing. It was when I
yeah,
just got the LBS Studio and I just got the
you
gaming
do have
PC,
one because I was
and I
watching it.
thought, yeah, and then I get absolutely mullered by the AI. They're brutal. I think I put it up to like 100% AI aggression.
Yeah,
My God, they're just ramming you left, right, and center. So I soon turn that back down.
yeah, it's good AI, but I don't know if it's the best. But let's see what how Formula One gets on with the new game.
But
I'm really hoping
at least the
that they
AI in
fix this.
ACC can drive him a wet. And if anybody's watched any of my videos, you'll know exactly what I mean. Because the
Is that
AI in
because you've
Gran
got
Turismo are just a joke. It'd be interesting to see how Selfie handles the wet. AI Selfie. That'll be interesting.
there wasn't any though in the wet, was there?
No, no, not yet.
I
I
think
haven't
I
seen
think
any.
I think a Sophie would be ridiculous. I think Sophie is too good. I think too good at the moment, and they need just knock down a little bit.
Yeah, was it Selfie? Was it Selfie Purple? Was it like the because they
Yeah,
did it in colours, didn't they? Where green was I can't remember. Green was
all the others were crap.
slow, blue was faster, and then purple was
Yeah,
like driving like a god. But
yeah. Even though I managed to beat Sophie Purple, um, I found a way of beating it, which
being ram it
was
off the track.
fun. Well, exactly. That's what I did. Um, if you can't beat them,
Well, you know
you
what they
know,
say in a certain movie: winning is winning.
exactly. It's as long as you cross the finish line in first, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think as Zoom's gonna end us soon. I think we need to get into the plugin. Um, so if you haven't yet, check out Phantax Racing on YouTube and Twitter, I believe it is.
yeah.
Um,
There is a Facebook as well, but that's really just sort of posting. But yeah, YouTube and Twitter. That's my main two channels.
yep.
And I'm more than happy for you guys to come in, jump in, leave some comment. Definitely leave comments. I love reading the comments. They're great. So
Comments are
even
almost
the
as good as clicking
unusual
the
ones.
subscribe button. They're probably best what's to do. If anything, just leave comments. Um, even if it's just an emoji, guys. Even if it's just an emoji.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, check out his videos. Good stuff as well. Very similar to what I do. So if you like my content, you're sure gonna like the Fantax channel as well. Um, obviously just follow my channel as well. Hit the subscribe button there. Um,
I'm a
and
subscriber. I'm a subscriber to you, so I recommend anybody else subscribe to
well,
both of us. Yeah.
you better be because you're on this podcast and you know about my channel. Um, yeah, but yeah, hit the like buttons, hit the comments, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the content on both channels anyway.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, thanks for having me on. It's been a pleasure because I've watched the ones with the other guys, and I keep thinking, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. So I'm on. I mean, this is big time to me now. I'm on Chunky's sort of podcast. So that's it. I've made it.
Yeah, well, I won't see it that way, but yeah, yeah. I hope this takes off, because then I'll get you guys back on again soon.
Cool.
Um, do second episodes. But yeah, we'll leave the podcast there. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you all soon. Chunky out, as I now say. I'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Bye,
Let me just
guys. I'll
stop this
see you
recording
in my
now,
next
mate.
video.
Yeah.